Hello everyone. So today I'm going to show you interesting things. So the thing is that here is some data. Okay. So this is the range where we have some data, and I just copy it and transpose and paste it in here. Okay. So today's topic is that non-contiguous range. So what do I mean by non-contiguous range? So let me run this code and you can understand it. Okay, as you can see that when we are going to filter this data by this keyword sub-Saharan Africa, so let's suppose if I filter in here and let's just select world and sub-Saharan Africa. So now you can see that it has row 2, 5, 12, 14, 18 and 23, or you can see from this place too. So it's 1, that means it's row 2, 5, 12, 14, 18 and 23. So this is a non-contiguous range, okay, because it's after row 2 there has no row 3, 4. It's skip that part and again it start at row 5 and then it started 12 and 14, 18 and it is. So this is a non-contiguous row, or it's a discontinuous portion of row. Okay, and if I just unclear the filter, okay, so now you can see that this has almost 7 row. So if I just filter it, then you can understand easily. So sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, so now if you can see this, that there is only 6 rows, right? So count is 6 and 1 is the header row, so there is 7 row of data and 4 column of data, right? And if I just unfilter it and if I run this code, now you can see that when we are going to use range.rows, it says that its total row is 2, not 7, and total column is 4 and total cells is 28. But we find the total cell by multiplying total row and total column, right? So it should have 8 cells, not 28. And from the address, range address, we can see that there is 7 row of data, not 2 row of data. So this is not the correct number. Row is not 2 but 7, column is okay, so that's why 7 multiplied by 4 is 28. Okay, so if you can see this, then you can understand it more clearly. As you can see, A1 to D2, so it's 2 row of data and there are 5 single row of data, so it's equals to 7 row of data. Okay, basically as it's a non-contiguous range, that's why it's showing only 2 row of data, because the first 2 row is contiguous, A1 to D2. So first 2 row is continuous, that's why it's showing that total row is 2, not 7, and total column is 4. And when it's going to find the cells, then it's finding it correctly. So if you want to find the total actual row, then what you need to do, you need to use total cells divided by total column. Okay, so then you can find the total actual rows of data. And in this section, when we just transpose and paste the data, now as you can see there are 7 column of data, as it's exactly equal, so it should have 7 column and 4 column is converted to 4 row, so again it's showing the incorrect number. So you can see from this picture, so first one has 2 column and left of the part is containing 5 columns, so there should be 7 column. So if you want to find the correct column number, then you need to use total cells divided by total row. So let's go to the code section. Okay, so basically the code is doing that, it's just filtering the data. Instead of auto filter, I'm using loop. Okay, So this is some variable, and with sit1 we are going to use sit1 data, and search key is F13. So in this place I have sub-Saharan Africa, and we are setting the first range as we are going to use header. So that says first table header and second section header range 2, and I'm finding the last row, and as I just transpose the data and paste it in the section, so it has exactly equal amount of data, so I can use one loop for both the cases. Okay, so now it's running the loop from 2 to last row, and if the current row and column 1 value is equals to search key, as I am searching the data from this first column for this section and from the first row for this section. Okay, so column 1, and if it's exactly equals to the value of the search key, then we are just taking that range to our desired range. Okay, so the first range was this one header, and now we are just taking the union, so it's start from row I column A to row I column T. Okay, and for the second portion, as we paste the data in column 7, so I need to scan from column H, which is column number is 8, whose column number is 8. So I'm just using I plus 6, so first initial value is 2, so it will be 2 plus 6 8, and if it's exactly equals to the search key, and it's always start from row 1, then I am taking this range to our desired range. Okay, and this is the part of the loop. Now I am showing all the data. Okay, so first one for the first section of data, so non-contiguous rows, because we don't use any non-contiguous columns. So first one is non-contiguous rows, and range address, I'm just pasting that range dot address. Total row, just range dot rows dot count. Total column, so range dot rows columns dot count, and total cells is range dot cells dot count. Okay. And the second part is for non-contiguous section, and that is same exactly, just I need to replace the range to range 2. So range 2 dot address, range 2 dot rows, range 2 dot columns, and range 2 dot cells count. Okay, I'm taking the value of the range to the array. Okay, so range dot value, and if I run this code, let me show you that. And now if I keep this to watch window, now you can see that it is taking only the first portion of data, first continuous portion of data, as our range is continuous for the first portion A1 to D2, so it's continuous for 2 rows 1 and 2, so that's why it's just taking the first continuous portion of data to the array, not the whole row of data. Okay, and I'm just pasting in this line, I'm just clearing the previous data, output data, and now I'm just pasting the data. Same things for the range 2 section 2. Okay, now we can see that this is the final output of the first array. As I said that it's only showing the 2 rows of data, and this is the final output of the second array. Okay, so if I just change this, let's suppose I'm finding sub-Saharan Africa, right? So if I just put this to sub-Saharan Africa, and same thing for this section too. Okay, now if I run this, now you can see that now it's returning 3 rows of data as first continuous portion of the output range, and same for this section too. Okay, so you need to be careful about to use range.rows count or range.columns.count, or taking value from non-contiguous range to array. it's just taking the first continuous portion of data. How can you overcome this problem? So you can use to say you can use array or collection instead of range, but the problem is that you don't know how many final output will be there in the filtered data. So now I have 7 rows of data. Now it's 8 because I just replaced this value. So you don't know exactly how many output will come from this filtered data. So that's why it's better to use collection of array. So you can overcome this problem. You don't need to specify how many rows of data or how many data you want to append. Okay, or if you want to use array, then you need to use redeem preserve, and you need to increase the size of the array. Okay, or you can use dictionary if it's Windows based. Thank you everyone.